สวัสดีค่ะ Hi everyone. So welcome back to Bitazza Invites with today our very special guest, Coin98 Finance. So you're here with me again. I am Didi Wiboonma, the Chief Communications Officer of Bitazza. Let me say hello to our friends in Thai, just so that they know that the content that we will be discussing about today will be translated and shared with everybody so that we make sure that no information is left behind. สวัสดีค่ะเพื่อนๆก็วันนี้ดิดี้กลับมาอีกแล้วนะคะกับถามอะไรก็ได้กับ Bitazza นะคะแน่นอนวันนี้เรามีแขกที่สำคัญมากๆก็คือหนึ่งในผู้ร่วมก่อตั้งของเหรียญCoin98 นะคะเนื่องจากวันนี้เนี่ยเดี๋ยวเราจะคุยกันเป็นภาษาอังกฤษแต่ว่าเดี๋ยวดิดี้กับคุณอาร์ตจะมาสรุปเนื้อหาทั้งหมดให้ทุกคนได้ฟังแล้วก็ทำเป็นอีกไลฟ์วิดีโอหนึ่งเหมือนตอนที่เราทำโปรเจกต์ที่ผ่านมานะคะก็ขอบคุณมากเลยนะคะที่แวบเข้ามาฟังภาคภาษาอังกฤษกันก็ยังไงส่งคำถามกันมาได้ค่ะวันนี้เนี่ยรู้เลยว่าทุกคนตื่นเต้นกันมากเพราะว่านี่เป็นหนึ่งในเหรียญที่ทุกคนรอคอยแล้วก็Bitazzaก็ไม่รอช้าลิสต์เมื่อวันที่9ที่ผ่านมานี่เองโอเคเดี๋ยวยังไงดิขออนุญาตกลับไปเป็นภาคภาษาอังกฤษแล้วเดี๋ยวเราเจอกันอีกทีนึงค่ะ Okay, so back to English. Hello. So we have here Art, Kavin Phongpandecha, our our chief executive officer, as well as a co-founder of Bitazza. Hi, Art.
Hey, Didi. I'm very excited to be here today. Thanks.
I know I'm very excited too, like a little bit nervous because really one of the hottest projects everyone is talking about right now. Also hailing from one of our neighboring countries representing Southeast Asia. And it's really refreshing to see, a project that is so integrated and expands across essentially the entire space of the blockchain. So we have here with us today, Thanh from Coin98. Hello.
Hi everyone. This is Thanh from Coin98. Thank you very much for having me today. I think first of all, thank you very much for your support. During the launch of Coin98 on Binance and also the listing on Bitazza. And I hope that the AMA today gonna be like the first my first chance to say thank you to all of you guys, and also make you have you understand better about Coin98. Very excited for the AMA today.
Okay, thank you so much for being here. I know that the fan base here of Coin98 in Thailand is also quite significant because I will say that Thailand, as well as fellow Southeast Asian countries, are becoming a lot more fluent in the blockchain space, especially decentralized finance. So I think that today we will cover a lot of exciting topics. So without further ado, Art, would you like to ask a first question that you have?
Yeah, my pleasure. So I think I'm very excited, especially when it comes to Coin98, because your project focuses a lot on cross-chain DeFi and building that infrastructure to make DeFi accessible to everyone. So maybe can you just run us through the history of Coin98, how you got started in DeFi, and where are you now?
Yeah, sure. So I think, long story short, I think my story started back in 2017. When Bitcoin price go up, and like everyone else, I started to learn more about Bitcoin and stuff. Yeah, at the beginning, things are very well, and you make money in very short time, and yeah, you're happy with that. But then the crash of Bitcoin, in December, that really changed my mind. So I started to go deep dive into the technology and trying to understand about blockchain, crypto stuff. So at the beginning, I started to building Coin98 as a, this is pretty amazing. It's just start as a YouTube channel. It's all about educational purpose. I trying to I do all the research that I can, and then I share it to the YouTube channel that trying to get the feedbacks from people who have the same interest. And then I do it for 6 months or so, and reading thousands of white papers. And then after that time, I still remember when people started giving up the market, when Bitcoin pricing went down from like 20,000 to 6,000. Like all the OGs that I saw from Vietnam, and also people around me started giving up the market. And then I think that this is gonna be the big thing. So instead of just doing a one-man show, we started to build a team and trying to find like a startup ideas in this space to building Coin98 as a team instead of just a one-man show. And then the next step after I started to build a team is like we starting a research firm called Coin98, and then we do all the research, publish all the research on Coin98 website, and then yeah, luckily a lot of people love those research. So we build that kind of research firm from June 2018 to 2019, and then in 2019 when we becoming like one of the biggest players in Vietnam market. So there's several ways that you can scale the business, right? The first one is like you open your you scale into another category like product arm, or doing like investment or ventures or VCs or that kind of stuff. The second one is you scale your media arm from Vietnam to from a local business to a global business. And then we at Coin98 we take both approach. So the first one is we scale Coin98, all the resources, we leverage all the know-how that we got in the last few like 2 years, and starting building Coin98 Analytics. I think nowadays that account on Twitter is very popular. I think at this point we got like nearly 200,000 followers on Twitter. All the medias and all the investors, big VCs, even with Grayscale, use our infographics as source of information for their research as well. That's pretty amazing. And the second one is we starting to build our product arm, which is we call it Coin98 Labs. The first product that we start. So at the beginning, we don't know what product to build, but then after we do the research, we see like, okay, so a lot of people, they're trying to build their own blockchain. And then when we're trying to, use those products, every time that we use, like, let's say that we use Terra, we need to install Terra Station wallet, right? And then when we use Solana, we need to, install Solid. Or when we use like EVM-based chain, we need to install, MetaMask. And it's pretty annoying when you're trying to use like different blockchain at one time. So that's why, okay, so we think this is gonna be the next thing when we see a lot of chains are coming up and they're starting to expand their ecosystem. But then people will have a demand where to switch between different chains. But there's no team that at that time starting to build that kind of stuff. So that's why we're starting to build Coin98 Wallet as a cross-chain wallet, a support building a multi-chain infrastructure for that future. And then yeah, things are rolling out. We still remember we launched the first version of Coin98 Wallet on January last year. And then after 12 months, and we got a little bit tractions. Our big aha moment is when we started to integrate PancakeSwap. So the first one we integrate PancakeSwap, we immediately got like 100 million volume, by doing no marketing. So we know that, okay, so this is like the real product that people really use. And then we're trying to wrap up all the pictures and start building Coin98, and also preparing for the launch of C98 tokens. And yeah, that's how we started and how we got today.
Wow, that's an amazing story. So basically, you started from being a user of like blockchains and DeFi to identifying this market gap where like people found a lot of pain in switching between blockchains. Then you created a wallet for that out of the labs, right? Can you maybe tell a little bit more about like what the labs like? Are there other products that you're looking to build given what you have so far, and what other market gaps or what other opportunities are you seeing at this moment?
Yeah, sure. So at Coin98, our our main strategy is we're trying to building a infrastructure for the multi-chain future. So at the beginning, we're trying to we build Coin98 wallet as a as a base layer, and we're trying to support all the chains that we can that people use the most. And then after that, we also explore some other opportunity that building our own protocols, on those chains as well. And started with Saros. I think people in Thailand also people who follow Coin98 already aware about the launch of Saros protocol on Solana. So that would be our own product arm in on Solana, because when we started to support Solana inside of Coin98 wallet, we know how the way that people use interact with Solana and what kind of service, what kind of behaviors and what kind of like features that people use the most. And when we take a look at the whole ecosystem on Solana, there's so much opportunity that we can really build on and fulfill those demands. And that's all. And at Coin98 we also have like a lot of developers as well. So I think okay, so there's a demand out there that people use the most, and there's no team that's trying to fulfill that demand. And then that's how we started to trying to be more involved, and then starting to build our own product arm on Solana. And this is so Saros will have their own tokens, but the way we do it is like all the tokens that we do, the launch of Saros token gonna be airdropped to C98 holders. So it's follow the same strategies that like Luna and Terraform Labs. So Coin98 is Terraform Labs, they build Luna at the base layer, and then they build their own ecosystem based on that, right? And then they have Anchor, they have Mirror, they have other protocols. Coin98 is apply the same strategies, but we don't stick to one chain. So our base layer is gonna be Coin98 wallet that we support a lot of chains. But then on top of that, we can build our own protocols on different chains. And then those protocols gonna have their own tokens, and all those protocols, all those tokens gonna be airdropped to C98 holders, in different ways. And I think this is how we can really scale the ecosystem in a fast way, in a scalable way, and then also can capture the most of the value and contribute back to the C98 holders.
That's really, really interesting because, we, as many people know, that Coin98 is becoming this like one-stop service of DeFi, and just hearing this from you directly is just makes us even more excited. So for those of you that are watching, let me remind you that since this is an Ask Me Anything, so any questions you have for Thanh, please post them here, but also don't forget to share this video, because I've just been confirmed that we have a very, very special activity. 3 questions that we like the most will be allocated $50 worth of Coin98 for 3 top favorite questions. So please share our video and ask the best questions, because we have the master here to answer anything that you need to know. So I think let's back up a little bit here in case for some of the people who don't actually understand, because there seems to be so many things that Coin98 is serving the purpose for. So could you perhaps explain to us what is included in this one-stop DeFi solution?
I think what we're trying to build is like we build a interface, layer where people, most of the retail investor and retail users gonna, access into DeFi services much easier. Yeah, we're trying to, solve all the like UI UX problem, and also like the way that they interact with all those, different blockchain platform, and how to travel between blockchain platform, and also interact with different protocols on different chain, in a very easy way. That's how what we're trying to do, like becoming a entry gateway for TradFi users to enter to DeFi and accessing to DeFi services.
That's really cool. That's really interesting because as you mentioned, the users can do cross-chain swaps. They can conduct staking. They can do yield farming. And as you mentioned, multiple blockchains as well. Now, are there anything any new features that you are planning as the next step that you can share with us?
Yeah, sure. I think so. Recently, a lot of people, they are very excited about metaverse, NFTs, and GameFi. Yeah, a lot of people ask me for those questions, for those features as well. And we are very excited to, for the launch of the new version of Coin98 Wallet next week, where we will support multi-chain NFTs. And then that will be our first step to enter to the metaverse on different blockchains. So at launch, it will support NFTs on Ethereum, on Binance Smart Chain, and on Solana. We will. I think this will be the the first starting point where to for Coin98 to start serving like the metaverse ecosystem and also fans.
Oh wow, that's great. I think there's a lot of even in Thailand, Axie Infinity is starting to pick up steam. A lot of players are very excited, so that would be great. And also the NFT market picking up steam. I have a question about the ecosystem that you're building. Going back to what you said about like the Terra model, where you try to have this base layer, but instead for you guys, since you are cross-chain by nature since at the beginning, are you looking to create cross-chain products in this case that would be launched within the Coin98 ecosystem? And what's your vision for the future of cross-chain DeFi? Is it going to be more like cross-chain smart contracts that people can use, or is it going to be composability across chains? What is it like in your vision?
I think for most of the new technology, we need times and and building it to phase by phase. So what we our approach when it comes to cross chain or middle chain future is that everything we start with supporting all the chains that people use, and then the next step is you create like you take a look at every chain as a country. And then, so the first thing is you need to support all all the citizens and the needs to go to those countries. The second one is you need a bridge that allows or like a plan that have people travel between blockchain. So and then after that, when the bridge technology is already bridge that good. When I say that about a good bridge, it means that first it's decentralized and you can swap assets between different blockchain in seconds, right? So that's something, and with the technology stack right now, I think we are not there yet, but I think over time the technology will be involved and improved. So I think people gonna do a quick swap between let's say BSC and also Solana, or BSC and Ethereum in seconds, and at that time I think that will be the first starting point for cross-chain future. The cross-chain future that I imagine is like people don't really care about what chain they are stay on, and then they can, let's say that you're holding tokens on BSC, and then you want to interact with a protocol on Terra, you immediately can do it in seconds, and you don't need to go to the bridge, and then you need to do a lot of steps to get there. But then you can batch all the transactions in a big transactions, and it will be executed in seconds. So that's something that we think about. But because of the technology is not there yet, so our main focus at Coin98 right now is, first, we're trying to support all the blockchain platform that people use the most. Second, we're trying to build a bridge that allows people to travel between a blockchain in a very fast way. And yeah, so SpaceX is one of the product, and our own blockchain bridge that we are very excited to launch. Hopefully we can launch like the first version of SpaceGate at the end of this month or early next month. So with SpaceGate, you can try, at the beginning you can swap assets, USDT from like Ethereum to BSC and also to Solana. Some of the popular blockchain like Avalanche, C-Chain, and Polygon in seconds. So that would be the first step, and then we will start more chain and also more assets from there. So the way that we approach with this future is step by step, and trying to solve problems by problems.
Right. In terms of you're based out of Vietnam, right? And I just wanted to know like what kinds of demographics you're seeing using the cross-chain, like your products basically. Is it mostly in Vietnam, or are you seeing more traction coming out of a particular country? Because we interviewed Axie Infinity the last time. Even though they're based out of Vietnam, their main market is actually in the Philippines. So I'm just wondering like what kinds of demographics are you seeing adopting your product? Is it in Vietnam, or is it elsewhere?
Yeah, sure. I think at the beginning, most of the users of Coin98 Wallet and also Coin98 Exchange are mostly from Vietnam. But at this time, our after the launch of Binance, and also we rolling out a lot of features. So we go in deep dive into the multi-chain infrastructure, and also partner with a lot of protocols around the world. So right now, I think we only have around 23 to 25% of the user are from Vietnam. So we also have top 10 countries like using Coin98 Wallet right now are from United States, Australia, some people in South Africa, India, and also in Europe as well, especially in for Russian speaking countries and Turkey. So I think our demographic right now is quite diversified compared to the first launch of Coin98. But yeah, I think we are trying to so as we going deep dive into the multi-chain infrastructure base layer, we're trying to become build Coin98 as a global brand, but also maintain our influence in the Vietnam market as well. And also we also have a higher priority for Southeast Asia users. We hope that we really can communicate with them, and also serving them the best product that we can.
So let me bring up some questions that are being asked from the floor. As I mentioned previously, now Coin98 is listed on Bitazza since the 9th. So it's been actually 6 days, but a lot of people are already talking about it already. So Kun Attapon asked, what is Coin98's strategy to encourage users adoption in the future, since some people may feel like it's similar to MetaMask wallet? In his opinion, what would be your answer to this?
Yeah, sure. So I think that's a great question. A lot of people asking about competitors and MetaMask as well. And happy to share our opinions on this. So our main strategy as Coin98 is we're not trying to compete with MetaMask or Trust, but instead we see the untapped demand out there that we can that most of our products right now on the market, they are. I think there's still a big opportunity for us to take that opportunity. For example, So right now, most people are using EVM-based chains. They use MetaMask, right? So, but and then if you're starting to use, let's say Solana, and then let's say that you're trying to use like Terra, right? So you need to install even like 3 apps. So for Terra, you need to install Terra Station. For other Cosmos-based chain, you need to install Keeper. For Solana, you need to install Phantom or Solid, right? And then for of course for EVM-based chain, you need MetaMask. But and then with Coin98 Wallet, you don't need to install all of them. You only need Coin98 Wallet, and then you can interact with all those all the Web3 dApps and protocols using one single extension and one single mobile wallet. And I think as from a end user perspective, I think this is something that the users really need. So to recap this, I think our main strategy is we trying to build create our flywheel by going to long tail first, and then when you already capture a big, you becoming or you dominate those long tail market, your flywheel or your power is big enough to come back to EVM based chain and also Ethereum. I think, and that's the first thing. The second thing is so I think Southeast Asia countries and also people in developing countries, they have their own needs. I think MetaMask right now they're trying to focus on serving institution clients and customers, where we are trying to build a 100% focused end user focused product. So especially this kind of product gonna focus on developing countries users, where we can really communicate with them, understand their what they needs, and we can trying to ship the features that they need in a as fast as possible. Another thing we want to mention is that we're trying to leverage our advantage of having a strong developers community in Vietnam and Southeast Asia, where we can onboard compared to other teams who raising millions of the US dollar, but they only have a team around 10 people or 20 people. So Coin98 right now is we are a team of 100 people right now, and then we are scaling really, really fast. So we can, with that amount of developers, you can, ship feature faster, trying to, and you have, more resources to really communicate with the users, and also, trying to create a faster flywheel. And that's something that we are trying to do and trying to leverage with all the advantage that we have.
Interesting, really great answer, because I agree that one of the things that make or break a project is actually the community. So I'm really glad that you brought that up, and I think that when an innovation or a platform comes from emerging markets like Thailand or Vietnam, there is a sense of pride. Also, this is something that we often talk about, that unless it is a blockchain technology or a crypto project, it's very, very unlikely for a financial innovation to be coming from lesser known countries. And now we are in this space where we're putting Southeast Asia on the map and some other interesting countries that is really changing the dynamic of the world. That's really, really interesting.
Yeah, that's
what do you
really
think
cool.
about this part?
I mean, before, I think before crypto, most of the tech innovation in the world is come from the United States, and especially Silicon Valley, right? I think there's a lot of things that we can talk about that. Other people and developers and also entrepreneurs in Silicon Valley, they it's easier for them to access into the deal flows, into approach the VCs, and those VCs really support the entrepreneurship from those startup as well. It never happened, and builders and entrepreneurs in Asia, especially in Southeast Asia, they don't have much kind of ecosystem like that before crypto. So with crypto, I think this is our century opportunity, where most of the Asian users and also builders and entrepreneurs that can start building a global product right from their countries. And imagine like Coin98, imagine like a small startup, building, in Vietnam or Southeast Asia countries, and then serving, millions of users around the world. That's pretty cool. And then I think, compared to traditional tech technology, we never have that change, because the ecosystem is not there yet. But with crypto, I think this is our luck I think we was born in the right time. With crypto, we can do it.
And I also really love the fact that you mentioned the speed of growth and scaling, the progress that you've had, as well as I suppose scalability in the future. So considering that this is a very recent project, and we are now catching you guys at seemingly still an early start, it's really interesting to see where we will go. So let me go to the next question from Hoan Kai Nguyen. His question is how Coin98 wallets, Coin98 exchange, and other products like Cyrus Finance charge or capture value from transactions.
This is a great question. I think for Coin98 wallet, at the beginning, I think what we are trying to focus at Coin98 wallet right now is the growth more than monetization. So in the past few months, our growing rate is tremendous. So I think before we got listed on Binance, we got around 150,000 users. But right now, just like 2 months after that, we already surpassed like 600,000 and on the way to reach like the first million of users. For the wallets, on the wallet address side, before we got listed on Binance, we only have around 700,000 addresses. But that we got that number in 18 months since the beginning. But then in only 2 months, right now we already we just passed 3 million addresses in 2 months. So that I think we are in a hyper growth right now, and I think the room to grow Coin98 ecosystem and Coin98 wallet going to be our main focus at this time instead of doing monetization. But let's talking about let's say that in future when let's say Coin98 have serving like hundreds of million users around the world, and how there would be a lot of ways that you can monetize it, right? You can charge a small fee for every swap on the C98 exchange, or you can also offering like launchpool service inside of the wallet, and you encourage people to hold C98 tokens and receive the airdrops of other tokens inside of your ecosystem. I believe as long as you have a large amount of users, monetization and also the way that you contribute the value back to your community is not really a big deal. What we're trying to focus right now is trying to help Coin98 reach like the first 10 million user, and then trying towards to the first 100 millions. That will be our main focus. I think at that point when you already have got hundreds of millions of users, that's pretty clear that you're gonna figure out how to monetize and really contribute those value back to your holders.
Right, great question, great answer. And also I wanted to since we're talking about value capture before, maybe can we talk about currently what the C98 token does in terms of the token utilities, like what can you do with it? How does that tie back into what you're building?
Yeah, so like I mentioned, so with the launch of Cyrus, so we will activate the first utility of C9 tokens is we are developing a membership program where we can segment users and holders into tiers, and then based on that tiers, then you can participate in our premium service like launch pool service. So different tiers are gonna have different incentives for those people. And the second thing that we are trying to apply for C98 is to this is still under research, research R&D, but we are thinking about building a loyalty system where we can really building a loyalty fan base around Coin98 products. Then that when people use the product, the more you use the product and really contributing to the whole ecosystem, the more you're gonna receive back. This is and the second one is this is pretty big, and I don't want to mention or share a lot yet, but as you know, we already have support NFTs. And as I mentioned, we are really trying to have accelerate the hyper growth of C98, and I think gaming gonna be like a very potential domain that we want to focus on, and that could be surprise if you can use C98 to start not only accessing to one games, but gonna be like, how about a game studio, like a game store, like a set of games that you can really use in the tokens inside of the games. Yeah, so we're very excited about this plan, but let me keep it in secret, and we'll share with you guys when we have something more clear to share with you guys.
Oh, I think that we've heard plenty of teasers already tonight. That's really awesome. I think that we're talking a lot about Coin98 and how integrated and expensive it is. So actually, we have a question from Kun Siri Phongpandecha. Who the main competitors of Coin98 in this market, and which advantage would you say that you have over them, considering that Coin98 really does everything under DeFi? Kind of difficult to see.
Yeah, I think I think that we don't really have a competitive mindset at Coin98. I think our industry is pretty early, and for all the partnership our collaboration in this space is gonna be what we're trying to really bring on the table is we're trying to create a positive a positive Zoom collaboration where, let's say, I have one, you have one, and when we collapse, we have more than two. And this is something that we're trying to our mindset when we build Coin98. I think right now a lot of people they talk about they saw Coin98 as a a wallet only, but yeah, we are we don't really trying to see anyone as a competitor, but instead we see TradFi products outside of of crypto. Like let's say that if you are you compare the GameFi narratives with traditional games builders. There's a very well-known games out there that they own like hundreds of millions of users, and I think the way that we build blockchain and really blockchain get to mass adoption is we will become them a better version of them. It means that centralized games really fast. You're gonna build like even faster games than them, and then you even better because you have tokens and you can really incentivize them using tokens. And the game is still amazing and interesting itself as well. So for every features that we make, we're trying to see the way that we can improve and do better than a similar version in TradFi. So we're not trying to really compete with them in terms of user, but we consider what they already achieved as an inspiration that we can, okay, so those guys are building those products that are already reached like hundreds of millions of users. We can get there, and we will do everything that we can to really help us to achieve that goal. And yeah, take a look at where we are now, and then with that inspiration, I think there will be a long way for Coin98 teams to care about the competition. So I think we're trying to scale and trying to improve our own abilities and skill set and that kind of stuff and resources as well to get there. I think it's pretty early for us to think about competition, but instead we're trying to become innovative in what we do, and then we take other for everyone who doing better than us as an inspiration, so we can doing things amazing things like that.
Great answer. I like the mentality of nonstop improvement. So I think there's a lot of questions that are now coming in. I guess one of the questions that stand out is that, by Pham Mu Quinn, I have a question that I think C98 is doing very well in community development marketing in Vietnam. So what will you do to reach out to the world?
I think that we have a lot of great partners all around the world right now, and we are trying to working closely with them to see how can we really support them to build their own empires there. That's our mentality. So let's say let's take Thailand market as an example. So like you guys Bitazza and then also crypto mine Bitcoin guys really have us to grow there. It's all about the communities and tremendous support. We really appreciate for those support, and we really wanted to sit down with them to see how can we really come back and support them to grow that ecosystem. Crypto right nowadays is still very early. I think the biggest protocols that have the most user right now is in my opinion, is PancakeSwap with 2 million users. But 2 million users compared to like a Facebook or a lot of dApps, traditional apps out there with billions of users, that's still far a long way to go. And then we need to be collaborative, and we need to working with each other, trying to support each other to grow this industry. I think this is the positive Zoom game where I have you, you have me, and the whole market gonna be expand, and then it's gonna benefit for all of us. And yeah, this is what we're trying to do. We have you guys in Thailand. We have my friends in Taiwan. Some of our big investors in Korea, in China, in Turkey, in Russia. Those people there really help us a lot, and then we are trying to really first we set it up like our customer service team there to first serving their to service them. They have a lot of, so we make sure that all the problems they have during the time that they use our product, we will have people to address all those concerns and problems, solve all of them in a very short time. And second one, we're trying to is talking to our partners and investors and supporters there. How can we really contribute to the ecosystem and community there to grow? And yeah, that's what we're trying to apply for Coin98. From my observation, the way that people use the product from all around the world is pretty similar. People in developing countries, they want to, some people they want to make a living, some people they want to really becoming wealthy, but some people are really inspired by the tech. We're trying to segment them into different groups, and we're trying to serve them one by one.
Well, that's an interesting observation. I think that no matter where you are in the world, you're using DeFi in a very similar fashion. Because there's only so many things you can do.
Because like if you take a look at the blockchain address, is there's no name there, right? There's no country. So it's mean that that's the purpose of what we're trying to pursue. Like everyone come to crypto and start entering crypto because of some specific demands, and we're trying to segment them all into groups, and then we're trying to see how can we be helpful there.
Right. That's great. I think it also shows like the universality of DeFi, right? Because people tend to, we have very similar goals as human beings. No matter where you are, you need financial services. You need it in a way that is decentralized, that is accessible, usable by everyone. You want to be able to send money to anyone you want, swap between different assets, stake to earn yields. So I think that's a good observation that whatever you're building, it's very usable, it's very universal for people.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why we are everyone can enter to crypto, and yeah, I think we treat everyone in our countries the same. But I think with our strong foundation in Southeast Asia, we can have I think we can service better to the users in this area. But we also trying to become and also upgrading our service in other countries and in other area as well. I think at the end of the day, we all deserve to use a good product to use DeFi, and then that's what we're trying to do, serving like crypto users all around the world.
Really interesting insights there, and I think that is the sentiment that is shared across blockchain technology a lot. I have a question, having listened to you answer some of these questions from the floor. Do you find it, what advantages and disadvantages do you find having come from a country like Vietnam?
Yeah, sure. I share with you about I would say that it's not disadvantage, but I think it's is under development. Is still growing, but we are not there yet. But that's something that when we realize that problems, we're trying to come back and solve those problems as well. But it will take a lot of time. So the first thing that I saw from when we started building Coin98, from Vietnam and also in Asia, is that the mindset. So for some of the builders I'm not trying to complain or anything, but this is the truth that most of the builders in the US or Europe, they kind of have a long-term mentality. So for every product that they're trying to build, they're trying to build a product that's gonna long last for the next 10, 20, 50 or 100 years that people will use, and it will serve the users all around the world. And that's the mindset that we really need, like a mindset of a global builders, not a local builders. And this is a mindset shift that when people in Vietnam, when this is just my own experience, I don't know what it is similar to other countries, but it's pretty hard when you're trying to find people who have the same mindset like you, who are willing to spend like 3, 4, even 5 or 10 years of their life and contributing to a protocols or a product or building something that gonna long last for the next 100 years. I think one of the reason that people in Asia normally they focus on short-term projects or something like that is because we are in an area that are developing countries. For most of the people, they want to have make a better income or something like that, and that's something will be their main priority. But I can afford to building a world-class startup starting from Vietnam or Thailand or Southeast Asia or Asia. We need to start with a world-class mindset, a very long-term, and sometimes and this mindset gonna have you to say yes and say no when deals or when problems happen. You're not, there will be trade-off anytime. You want to make a decision that gonna hurt you in short term, but but will benefit you in long term, or you want to just take or grab a short term opportunity, but losing the benefit for long terms. So this is something that we find that it's really hard to find the people who have the same mindset as us, because it's all at the end of the day, it's all about a fundamental that when you're talking to each other, the way that you think about the problems, when you solve the problems, you need people who have the same mindset like you, and to fight with you, or to reach that goals. And that's I think that's the hardest things. The second thing is the resources. like capital or talent. But I think that this problem already is solving over time, because right now I saw during this bull trend market, a lot of people in Southeast Asia, in Vietnam and Thailand, becoming very rich. Yeah, they are. I think it's not. It's very easy to find like crypto millionaires, around us right now, even in Asia. So those people, they are willing to take risks. They bet on, they make big bets on crypto stock builders, and I think that's the culture of the next generation of builders in Asia that we really need. Really, people in Silicon Valley, they really survive and thrive because there's hundreds of VCs out there. They have a lot of money. They throw billions of dollars into hundreds or thousands of startups, and then we only see like 1 or 10 brands that are really become successful, but and then we don't see people who fell, right? But to have like those 1 or 10 unicorn like that, you need to bet on 100 or 1,000 of startups, and you need people really throwing the money, make big bet on startups, want to take risk, and if I bet right, I will have a return as well. And this is the mentality that we didn't have, and also we don't have this kind of investor before crypto or even before this bull trend. But after this bull trend, I do see a lot of people, especially in Vietnam and in Southeast Asia, in Thailand, they're starting to support the builders in the countries, funding, doing a raise around 100, 200, a million or 2 million right now. It's not that hard. I think that's a good start for every builders who really want to start, figuring out how to build a business or startups in crypto. And this is, I think, gonna be the starting points of the next generation of unicorns in Asia.
Nice. Yes, because I think one of the reasons that like Silicon Valley was so successful was the fact that there are some very big exits. A lot of people got rich and then they reinvested into the space. But then what happened was like it's very local to Silicon Valley and the US, right? But now in crypto, since we have opportunities open for everyone, you basically have all these like people who normally wouldn't have access to all these deal flows in Asia, have access to all these amazing good projects. They have good exits. They have liquidity now. And with that liquidity, they can then reinvest into something they truly believe in, which is, enhancing or furthering this idea of financial freedom brought about from the blockchain. So I think we're at a very interesting point in history where a lot of projects now do not rely on VC money, but then they rely on just people locally, just building and creating stuff from community-based, funding. And to that, I would like to take us to another question from one of our viewers, Vo Trung Fu. I want to know the vision of the C98 for the next 5 and 10 years. And if it becomes the top of the most used wallets, what will C98 do next?
I think what we're trying to do at Coin98 for the next 5 or 10 years is trying to becoming a core contributors to the mass adoption of crypto and blockchain all around the world. Helping people all around the world can access into DeFi services, decentralized services, anywhere, anytime. That could be our main focus. I think we are living the history right now. People in Asia or in all around the world can access into crypto. There will be there's a lot of like advantage services in DeFi right now that I think people deserve to use those kind of benefit to earn those benefits. And I think if we can becoming a core contributors for that mass adoption, that could be something that we are really proud of. And that's the first thing. The second thing is like we are living the example for Asian builders. I mean like for the past centuries, when you see unicorns coming from like Silicon Valley only, what we're trying to do at Coin98 is we live it by example. We're trying to build the becoming the inspiration for all the builders in Asia. If we can do it, everyone in Asia right now can do it. If you before the launch of C98, I think we have Band, we have Anfar, but there's not many I don't really see a big trend in terms of from Asian builders who start just to stand up building a business in crypto. But right now, I think a lot of people, especially in Vietnam, there's a huge trend that people really talented outside crypto, they start exploring crypto because they think, okay, so if C98 can build those things, we can build, or you can become big, like that as well. And I think living the inspiration like that gonna be something that gonna be affect and also contribute to the value of the next generation of builders in Asia. That's something I think when I'm getting old and when I look back, gonna be something I'm really proud of. Becoming something or a part of the history, and also becoming an icon or inspiration for the Asian builders. If we can do it, and probably you can do it too. We started, as a one-man show, building a research firm, and then nowadays we got on Binance and becoming one of the very well-known, product teams in the space. If we can, if we can do it, and you can do it too, and then right now there's a lot of people in Asia. They really want to support Asian builders. This is your chance. So if you're listening to or watching this live stream, I really encourage you to find some ideas or opportunities. Maybe you can really build your own product or start your own business in this space.
That's a really beautiful answer, and I think a lot of the things that you've shared with us is a sentiment that is shared across developers, people in this market that are here for with a vision and for a cause, especially now that the market is so open to innovation and just anyone that brings a difference. So I know that a lot of these things that you have accomplished come from having a great team. Can you share with us a little bit more about what kind of work environments and I suppose key success factors? Because we all know talents or people are also very, very important, even especially in the tech world. What is your take, Thanh?
I think we are quite lucky, and I feel thankful for to all the builders at Coin98. So at Coin98, we call everyone at Coin98 are the builders. They are the person who really make things work. They are the guys who write the content, to design the landing page, who write the codes, the contracts, and everything. I think the success here is you trying to onboarding the people who have the same mindset like you, have a long-term vision, and really want to become become a part of something really big. So working in a crypto startup bring you really a lot of advantage, rather than becoming investor only. You have deeper insights. You have more resources. And also more benefits and incentive as well. But at the end of the day, what we're really trying to build Coin98 is a mission, driven companies where people hear, okay, so we're trying to, becoming a big contributors, a core contributors of this mass adoption. And I think, we don't really, we do believe, and by becoming a big contributors of the of this technology innovation, the world gonna reward the teams in a fair way as well. So I think what we're trying to build at Coin98 is we're trying to trying to find the demands out there that people haven't fulfilled yet. People really in need of that kind of future of products, but we cannot. But nobody else really build, jump in or stand up and build those kind of product. And then that will be us. If we can do it, and we will do it for you. And we're trying to do a lot of things, as many things as possible. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much. I think people have the same mindset. Gathering them all, trying to people who have the same visions, trying to become a part of this of the history. We don't even have goals. We know that we want to be like a big part of this innovation. We don't have like specific goals. We don't have KPIs. What we're trying to do is we work day and nights over the weekends, day and nights, even like in the midnights. And you ping us, some of the guys in the team's gonna reply you. Uh, we work for that. We work like that for 4 years and continue to doing that. I think, but still, I think I feel lucky when we really can onboarding people who have the same vision, sharing the same missions like that. Is a huge advantage of Coin98, I think.
That's really awesome. All of these comments coming in, especially from your fellow Vietnamese people, just show that you're very favored and loved. There was even a comment that said you are the Superman of Vietnam. That's really, really cool. The next question that came in from Quoc Hao, he said, how does the current legal corridor in Vietnam affect a project in the crypto sector like Coin98? Does that cause you any inconvenience?
Yeah,
Good
sure.
question.
So first of all, I think before we answer this question, I would love to express our opinion on this. We are 100% trying to collaborate and with the government to building a legal regulation framework for builders in Vietnam. So we, all the builders in our industry, in our country, can really start jumping into the space and building something meaningful here. So crypto in Vietnam right now is so we don't really have a clear regulation framework yet, but as far as I know, using our own, our personal network, we do know that the government is trying to learn about the space and also learn from other countries like Thailand or United States or Korea or Singapore. They're trying to learn from them and trying to have like the best approach. I think in the next 1 or 2 years, we can expect that Vietnamese government gonna get, Vietnam government gonna release a the first regulation framework that support the builders. At the end of the day, I think, one of the green light that we got from the government is that in the the country strategies that for the growth in the next 10 years, we blockchain is one of the 5 core technologies that Vietnam want to focus in the next 10 years, 2020 to 2030. So I think so far everything related to the regulation is going to be quite positive, and but it's not building a regulation framework going to take time, and we need to do it carefully. Until then, what we're trying to do right now and over the past 4 years is we're trying to educate people who enter to the space, because I think as long as we can teach people or we can show people the right approach, that when they enter the first time they enter to the space, they won't lose the money. And as they don't lose the money, they don't send the money to scam or Ponzi scheme, they will trying to they will make money, I think. And then at least it won't there won't be many cuts, or they won't lose the interest or the belief in the industry. And I think during the bull market, a lot of newbies and people gonna start spreading that interest to crypto. I think as long as we can really educate them and trying to convert them from a new first-time user to becoming a power user, DeFi power user, that's gonna be something that benefit for the whole industry, not only in Vietnam. So until we still we are very cooperate, trying to be collaborative with the government on building the regulatory framework, and also share our insight as a builder as well. but that's not something that we can control. What we can control is we control the way that we distribute the knowledge, and the way that we can encourage people to approach crypto and DeFi in the right way. As long as they make money, they don't lose money, they don't send the money to scam or Ponzi scheme. They will stay with the market, and
Right.
that will be a huge win for all of us.
Right. Just so the Thai viewers maybe can understand a little bit better, because in Thailand, the legal framework here is that you need a license to operate a digital asset business, right? So they break it down into different types of licenses. For example, an exchange, a broker, dealer, and an ICO portal. So we have like 4 licenses, and now we have the fund manager license and the advisory license. So like 6 licenses in total. Next year, probably a custodian license. So those are licenses to operate like a business, like a centralized business. But what you're referring to is more of like the license or like a framework to regulate builders of technology. Maybe just shed some light on that. Like, are there differences between between building like a protocol and running a centralized business, and also if how centralized businesses in Vietnam are regulated at the moment?
I think right now, crypto in Vietnam is a great area. You can use crypto to pay for goods, services.
Mhm.
But and then we don't really have a clear framework on defining crypto is an asset or not, or so. And we don't really have a clear framework or licensing like crypto exchange or this kind of stuff. And that's the first thing that our government trying to building a framework for it. The thing is, as a builder, we can share with them our insights, but we cannot contribute that much opinions on that. I think from as a builders in the space, I strongly support the ideas that we will have a clear regulation framework, the license for a crypto exchange that we can, we have official license exchange that we can really, deposit the money, the fiat money there, also withdraw, and then people can, pay taxes. Um, and but and then that's gonna take a lot of time, and we hope that the government gonna figure out how can the best approach on this as well. We are really supported on this idea. We already share with them the insights, but still we are just the builder. From the government side, there will be a lot of concern and rather like one problems, right? So I hope that they're gonna find like the best approach, or at least a sandbox for builders, and then we can trying to improve in that sandbox.
Great. I think that makes a lot of sense in terms of regulation. Just working with the regulators, and also working like the regulators and the private sector working together so that you can come out with a compromise solution. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would like to shift gears a little bit because there's a really good question from our audience about security. So Kun Attapon Mumi saying that I believe security is the most important concern for potential users that are considering using Coin98 wallet. And as many DeFi projects are vulnerable to cyber attacks, do we need to use a hardware wallet together with Coin98 wallet, or we can rely on Coin98 wallet alone for best security?
I think security gonna be like our main focus at Coin98. We conduct multiple rounds of audits with different audit firm. For the wallet right now, the technology is pretty simple. We already did the audit with Circuit and also with Coxil and several audit firm. But I think audit is the things when you're building protocols and product in this space, audit is not going to the best solution to to bring the confidence. I think my opinions on this is the best way to tackle this problem is to build a really good insurance protocols that you can have a security funds there as a security deposit. So let's say that when you're using the protocol or something like that, if something bad happens and you have like a funds that will cover that loss, is bring the confidence, because it's more like solution oriented approach, where okay, so bad things happen, what gonna you do next? Are you going to protect the funds of the users or not, or something like that? And I think insurance is gonna be some of the best problems out, best solution out there that we can tackle this problem. Yeah, so first, we really care about security. We conduct with the audit with several audit firms. But what we in long term, what we really care about is to working with or to build a insurance protocol that we can have a decent amount of security funds there, that in bad and if bad things happen, and we can use the funds to to cover or to protect the users. And that's something that gonna be for me, in my opinion, as an end users, it makes more sense to me in terms of doing audit. Because first, when you do the audit firm, they don't offer a security for you or insurance for you. If we see a lot of people who do the audits still got hacked, right? And the second one is like you still I think we're in a very fast growing industry. And I think what we really care about is like how can we keep that fast moving process, and then we also trying to protect the funds and also the benefits of the user. So yeah, that's my opinion on this. We that's also the reason why we allocate like 10% of say C9 tokens as in the treasury as well. So that reserve fund is gonna be used for emergency purpose in case if bad thing happens. But yeah, in long term, like I said, insurance and we are still keen, open to looking for a better option for this. Regarding to audit or other stuff, we're still doing that, but we don't think in long term. And with our really fast releasing product cycle, we the audit cost gonna be a lot. It's gonna be millions of users and of dollars costs for the audits. And I think if we can use those funds for security or emergency fund or something like that, that would be much more helpful and makes more sense to me. Yeah, so that's our approach. First, still really focus on the security, and when we will do everything we can to provide like the best security product for the users. But still in long term, we still keen on we're looking for better solutions in long terms.
All right. I think that's great in terms of security. There's also a lot of questions actually coming from the audience. We see like 3-4 questions or like even more from Saros Finance. So I think maybe if you want to talk a little bit about that, and what are your upcoming plans of Saros Finance?
Really many questions about Saros Finance.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So before talking about Saros Finance, let's take a look at let's take an example of let's take Amazon Marketplace as an example. So for Amazon Marketplace, is a platform that allows third-party sellers come to the platform, and then they can sell the service there, sell goods and products, services, and then end users going to Amazon, and then they buy stuff there, right? And if you take a look at the way that Amazon building this, for most of the category, all the bestseller products already have you have a similar brands like Amazon Basics brand, and it's pretty much the same, right? That's something that I think all the platform, the biggest platform right now, when they're becoming really big and they owe a bunch of user, they start to exploring. They're trying to control the whole stack. So come back to Coin98. For if Coin98, solving the users interface where helping people access to different services on different blockchain, and we see that especially on Solana right now, that the users and also the builders really need a very easy to use AMM, for them to swap tokens with high liquidity, and also with others add-on services like staking, farming, launchpad. And yeah, I think that's something we already. I think we can build that product, and the demand on Solana is right now is so big, and Coin98 started involved with Solana development, Solana ecosystem since last year. I think we are one of the early builders on there. So we are quite familiar with the Solana architecture, and LunaDex. So Saros is just rebrand from LunaDex. So LunaDex, we started to build LunaDex last year, and so far it got like more than 10 million trading volume on LunaDex already. It's also a proven records that we know that this is it would build Saros. It's really something that people use and really need. And yeah, I think first we have the resources. We're really involved with Solana ecosystem at the beginning. We can build those stuff. There's no really a big winner on Solana yet. And yeah, we think that we can contribute a lot to Solana ecosystem. And yeah, that's why we launched Saros Finance. That's gonna be our main product arm on Solana. Saros gonna serve as a protocol layer when Coin98 gonna serve on the front end layer. We're providing the best interface for people to use the services on different blockchain, including Solana. But and then if you are using Coin98 wallet and then you want to swap tokens on Solana, probably we will direct you to the liquidity of Saros, and that's how we make things work between Saros and Coin98. How the moment compared to other to they need to acquire the zero from the users from zero to to 2,000 to first 1,000 and 10,000 and 100,000. For Saros, you don't and we don't need that. For Saros, like the first moment we launched Saros, the user of Saros gonna definitely come from C98, and it's like 0 to 6,100 moment where we can send like 600,000 users to use the protocol. So I think that's a mix. And how can we balance the benefit between Saros holder and also C9 holders? We Coin98 contribute a lot to the launch of Saros and also the growth of Saros. And then Saros will give like a big amount of tokens for C9 holders, and you can do farming and that kind of stuff. So we don't conduct public sale for Saros, but that will be a way that we can really distribute the value of Saros to C90 holders. So wait for us. Don't forget to subscribe our channels. Twitter, Telegram, Discord. Don't be late. Let's just try our products and also give all the feedbacks are welcome.
Great. So it seems like Saros Finance, like being an AMM in Solana, there's quite a few that I can think of, like Radium, Serum, being like a decentralized exchange trading on Solana. How would you differentiate Saros Finance from the competitors in this case? Is it you're saying that it's because you guys are now currently doing the aggregation that you're controlling the stack by feeding the user basically into your own DEX, which has no clear winner yet. But like in terms of the technicals, like is it different or is it like the same? But also, like how would you differentiate that from the existing players?
Yeah, sure. So I think for most of the dexes right now on Solana, they build on Ethereum. And the way if you are building like a dex based on Ethereum, you are using Club Dex model. And what I think from my point of view, Club Dex model is really optimized for a high liquid market. But we are very early on Solana. At the beginning, if you are builders or if you are a team, a project team at the beginning, and you raise like 2 million US dollars for your launch, you cannot give it all 2 million US dollars just to do the MM. And even if you give like 2 million US dollars to do the MM, it's not enough. So ClubDex model is, I think, in my opinion, is not really optimized for illiquid market, which is really relevant with most of the projects nowadays, where at launch you only need a pool of like 1 million or 2 million US dollar value, and it's also the reason why a lot of club decks building on Ethereum back in 2017 to 2018. They already shipped the decks. They are a IDEX. I think I still remember back in the day. They have all the books. But then when Uniswap launched the AMM pool base, it's really successful. And it's not about Uniswap. It's all about the AMM pool-based model. It's really optimized for the illiquid market, where every project can init any pools, and also they can use those LP tokens to farm, to stake, or to build protocols or products based on that. And that's how that's the way that how Uniswap becoming a unicorn and becoming a big leader in DeFi nowadays. And you come back to Solana. I think that's probably what gonna happen. And if you take a look at most of the projects right now on Solana, even projects with billions of TVL, if you take a look at their liquidity on on Ethereum, it's only 100,000. It's not enough. It's let's say if you are a wealth, it's not a wealth you building and you want to buy 100,000 of US dollars, worth of tokens. You cannot do that. Or if you do that with $100,000 pool, you're gonna pull the price of that pool to 10x or 20x.
Right.
So it's not really optimized. That's that. So we realize that problems, and that's why we're trying to build Sarah Swap, following the pool-based model. Very similar, in a very short, describe. I think you can see Saros is similar to the way that Pancake building the biggest AMM on BSC, where we not only building the AMM only, but then we can also add building add-on services on top of that, like staking or launchpad services that allows people to use the LP tokens to participate in others service. And that's how we think we can really have all the builders on Solana, projects like we invest or projects we partner with, launch on the launchpad, and also init the pool on Sarah Swap, and then also bootstrap the liquidity for that pool using the farm and the staking features. I think from your point of view, that's something that the builders really need. And we work with we invest in some of the teams on Solana, and every time that we come up with the launch, we also had this about what is the best option that we can we should go, and then that's the demand, right? We think that we can build a good infrastructure for builders to launch our tokens, list our tokens, and bootstrap the liquidity for their new tokens.
Right. So it's more of like capturing the long tail, like basically getting all the different projects that are just starting out to have liquidity because you're using a very different model. Like you said, you can't really pay for market makers when you're a small project, but like we're using an AMM model. It captures the long tail of the assets that are potentially will be launched on Solana. So I guess that's a good way of think about it, right?
Exactly. I think that's
right.
I think if that happens, if we can build, we can ship that product, as soon as possible and in a successful way. I think that will be the beginning of Solana seasons where a lot of builders gonna issue SPL tokens, and then they can list the tokens and also do whatever they can with that liquidity.
Right. So I think we've spent about 1 hour and 24 minutes so far. I think maybe our team can start looking at the three questions that we like the most so far. But in the meantime, I do have a question to finish us off for tonight, if you don't mind. Yeah. So I think I always ask founders of projects this question because I think it's very relevant. Like, what would you consider to be like the main motivation behind whatever you're building? What makes you wake up in the morning, excited to go to work, and and what excites you basically? What motivates you, and why are you in this? If you could explain to the viewers in your motivation, your long-term goals for the project, and for yourself personally as well, that would be great.
I think so. Probably well, back to what I shared earlier when we talk about what we're going to do next in the next 5 years, 5 or 10 years. Uh, Personally, I think what really motivate me and also the founding team to really working hard, even we are pretty good right now. We not work for money. We work for the next. I think for me, I'm very excited to see two things. The first one, how far we can go from here as Asian builders, building a global, or a global or world-class product, serving billions of users all around the world. I'm really curious about the feeling of of a builders building that kind of product, and we will work as hard as we can to get there. First, second, like I said, that would be. I think my working for money is never been my goals. I would when I'm 50, 60, I look back at my life, I think becoming an inspiration story for all the builders in Asia. I think for me, I don't have a background. I didn't study in Stanford. I never studied abroad. I studied in university. I grew up in Vietnam. I learned everything on the internet. Start trying. I don't have a mentor. Trying to research, and you make a bad you fail. You're trying to improve it, and you have find a better way to get what you want. And I think after 4 years we get pretty far, but I'm very excited to see what we can build in the next like 20, 30 years or 50 years. And also becoming an icon or inspiration stories for the next generation of new unicorn builders in Asia gonna be something that I think it makes my life really, really meaningful. I have no regret, I think. So that's something that I really trying to fight for. Money is not going to be the problems. I make good money from investing even before we do the race or anything like that. It's not something that we are trying to do right now. But we're trying to use all the resources we have, trying to support all the builders in Asia and also all the builders inside our Coin98 ecosystem. I think the journey ahead of us is going to be amazing. I don't know how far we can go, but let's try to go far together. And yeah, I don't know. Trying to do everything. Push things up, do everything we can, and then wake up on another day doing the same thing. And magic is gonna happen after like 10, 20 years. It's already happened with us over the last 4 years. I think we still, it's nothing different, at Coin98, from after 4 years. even what we got it today. Nothing's changed. We never start with a goals like trying to make a lot of money, and it's never been our goals. And yeah, I mean, and the next generation, people who are people who was born after 1996, Gen Z, I think that could be the new hope of Asia. I'm very excited to be one of supporters for them, and yeah, we'll do everything we can to see the growth of Asian builders in the next like 10 or 20 years. And I'm gonna I will be proud if we see we can contribute a lot on that success. That's what we're trying to do.
Wow. That's really, really awesome. You know, this 90 minutes went past so quickly because we've really enjoyed talking to you. We could feel your passion. We could feel your energy and the dedication to your own project and also the scene. I think being here in the Bitazza's position and having the opportunities to meet project owners, developers, builders, as you call it, it's been really just astounding. And I think that we're all here for very similar reasons, just trying to change the world in our own interpretation. So thank you so much for sharing your vision with us. We're just so happy to get to talk to you and also to get to have the product of your creation in our house. And I'm very, very positive that we'll be seeing each other again soon, and it's going to be very interesting what comes in the near future and the next conversation that we will have to see the progression of our scene. And just really from what I've seen so far, the support has been tremendous. So I'm very, very excited to have the next conversation with you both in the future. So for those of you who have been watching it this far, thank you so much for being a part of this. And if you have submitted your questions, or even if you haven't and you find our content to be awesome, please do share, because I think a lot of the messages that we have covered today are just really, really inspiring. So on that note, I'd like to close our session, and thank you so much, Tanda, one of the co-founders of Coin98 Finance, as well as Kavin Phongpandecha, the CEO and co-founder of Bitazza. I really look forward to really seeing what comes very soon. And thank you so much both for your time. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you very much for having me today. Thank you very everyone who watching this AMA, and then everyone in Thailand who've been support Coin98. I think it's our pleasure, and I really I want to say really thankful, deeply thankful for all the supporters that we got. Yeah, really appreciate for your time, effort, and for your support. We will trying to be more products for you guys, and hope that you will like it and will be a part of this journey. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye. Good night.
Bye bye.